Okay, I'm in 3ds Max. I'm going to start modeling this simple character. Now I have this reference image, front view as well as the right view, and I've already adjusted this one, but in this view I have the two images, and what I want is to not accidentally move it or use the wrong one. So with this one I've already cut it down, and we're going to do that to the right side. I'm going to turn off my freeze, right click on it, and make sure that it is an editable poly. So I've already done that and made it an editable poly. I'm going to go to edge mode. I'm going to go full screen with this view. Scroll back a bit. And if I grab this edge and I go in and make sure preserve UVs are checked, I can drag the edge of the plane back, and now I don't see that second copy. And then I just refreeze it. So now we can get started with the model. I'm going to go to perspective view. Just hit the little home button so we can get in there and see. And this is a little close. I might take it and scoot this back. Now lock it. Okay. I'm going to create a cylinder. So I'm going to click and drag out a small cylinder. This has 8 sides and 1 segment up. And we're going to align it to these 2 different views. It does come in with the corners lined up, and I want a flat edge lined. So I'm just going to go and rotate this. And just rotate it. So we have a front, back, and 2 sides. And then we're going to go into, let's go to the front view first. And we do have this weird thing with 3ds Max where it just loves to change your view. Like you just can't keep a consistent view these days. Okay. So I'm going to come in. Turn off this angle snap. Get this a little straighter. I will be adjusting it later. And just shrink this sucker down. I'm going to move it over slightly. Pull it up to the pelvis. And I want this to be right above the pubic bone, but I do want it to be small enough just to hit the hip. I'm going to go to my front view, excuse me, my right view. In my right view, I'm going to go and adjust this. So it seems to be in the form. I'm going to center it a little bit more, but my model is much deeper than wide. So we'll just take and scale this. And that will work. Alright. So now I'm going to go to perspective view. Just my clipping plane. It's catching me weird. And I'm just going to remove the top and bottom for this plane. So we're going to convert this to an editable poly. Let's just grab the move tool. Deselect, select and delete for both of these segments. And then we'll go back into one of the views like front. And I'm going to orbit it slightly and try and get that face. So we'll go back to front. And this is the face I want to delete. So I'm just going to confirm it in the right view that it is the inside. I'm going to hit delete. And then I'm going to grab the edges. So again, just a little bit of a pivot. And straighten those out. Undo, wrong edge. Just need to pivot a little bit more so I can see. and just straighten that out. Okay, so just remember, we really want to be in our orthographic views, not in our perspective to work. So this looks good from here in my right view. I do want to have a little bit more pivot on this object. So I'm going to take and I'm just trying to match the rotation of the body. So maybe I move it down. Just trying to find the pubic bone. That's actually okay. So what I want is I want a little bit of angle as well on the side here to match the leg rotation, so how we're coming down off the leg. And I think I'm okay on the hip. I could go out just a little bit. Undo, something went weird. Slide it back. Double check my right. And this is good. So I'm going to go back to the front view, and I want to straighten out these two edges. So I'm going to grab the verts, and I can do it with these as well. And I am, let's just get these two, going to push in the scale until they're straight. And then I'm going to make sure they are in the center with my edge. And then because my pivot point is here, I am just going to move that now. So I'm going to affect pivot only, and I'm going to slide that in so it's really matching this edge. Turn that back off. And now if I go to mirror this, I'll not have to worry about where the pivot point is. Okay, I'm going to go that little move to the next two edges. So we're scaling in, and we'll straighten those edges out. And I may scoot them in slightly because I am going to use this for the pubic bone. And this first one, I do want to pull down just a little bit. I can do that with the top as well. I want to look at the back. So I'm just going to come back here and take a look. This does feel a little high, but that's okay. For right now, I'll move it later. Okay, so I'm going to bridge in the between the legs. So I'm going to go and grab these two edges, hold down Control, click on bridge, and I want to have two segments. Click OK. Grab the center segment, go back to, let's say, the front view, and pull that down just a little bit. So I can grab this whole edge loop and pull it up if I feel I need the extra room just to get that rotation. And now I'm going to add another edge loop going around, and I can take this whole edge and add an extra segment, but we're just going to pull out another edge loop. So I'm going to come in here and Alt-click the front and the back. I do want to grab these and pull from that, but hold down Shift and drag the edge, and then go to the correct view. It looks okay. Go to the front view. We're doing okay. This does need to be adjusted. Like I said, I could have put an extra one in. I'm just going to pull this out for the leg, and I want to even them out, so I'm going to scale that back up. And you just pull until you get a straight line, And then I can go and rotate that edge as well, if I want to. So I do want to adjust this little arc here. I'm not going to worry about it right now. My Turbosmooth might straighten it out. It feels like it needs to come down slightly. So we'll just do another continuation of this and go into the leg. I'm going to hold down Shift and drag. I'm about at the knee. Pull it out slightly so we can just keep our bend. And I'm going to scale this in. I'm going to go to the right view and again scale. Now I know I do have to scale at the bottom here. I can't see through my object, so I'm going to right click, go to Object Properties, and just go down to 0.5, and that's going to give me some transparency. And now I can see where I need to adjust this edge loop for getting more of the back of the butt to match up. I may want to put another support loop in, but for right now I'm just going to go in and grab different ways I can do it. I could just go in and scale this, or I can grab it by the polygons and move them. So just to have a little bit more control, I'm going to grab it by polygon. So again, right side, I'm going to grab my verts, pull these in, and maybe I want to pull them up a little or put another edge right here. So I might grab this whole edge loop and just pull it down a bit so it won't interfere. Just scale that this way. So it won't interfere if I put another edge loop in down below. And this is fine. This one just feels like it's too straight. So we're going to grab the whole loop. We'll get this back one as well. Again, work in your correct view. So I want to be in the front view. And I want to pull these back just to get a little bit more of that roundness feel. I might go to perspective. And just take a look and see if this feels right. It feels okay. Let's put a turbo on it. So we're going to add a Turbosmooth and just take a look at it in both views. So I'm getting a little too much turn right here. Right view, it's looking pretty good. Again, I do need that support loop to pull the butt out. And then we'll just continue with the top. So I'm going to hide my turbo. I'm just going to go to this top edge and do the same. Just hold down Shift and drag up. Just look at my turbo real quick. It's looking okay. I'm going to go back to my front view. I do know that this top edge might give me a little bit of issue. Especially when I'm going in a t-shirt, I might need to put a double edge there and then pull out the t-shirt. This is definitely too high. So for this front edge, I would need to make an adjustment. So let's go back to front, make sure I have the correct edge. And I have the whole unit selected. Pull it all down slightly. I want to straighten it out, I believe. Let's look at the side view. Yeah, it's pretty straight. It's not as angled as this. So we're just going to pivot that rotation. So I'm just checking to make sure the hip is close. And getting a little pull in here. We're getting close to the knee. I'm going to take this edge loop and rotate it straight. Undo. There we go. Alright, so that's the pelvis. We'll continue working on this.